The next milestone in chess after you reach 1,000 is 1,500. 1,500 is an average tournament player. And by that time, you're way better than the average social player in chess. In other words, the average person who just knows how to play chess, knows maybe a little bit of strategy, plays with their friends or family on the holidays or wherever. Now, there's still a lot of room for 1,500 chess, so there's a lot of room for improvement. I'm going to demonstrate that, and I'm going to demonstrate that in this video by using 3 different chess bots from chess.com. Now, why am I using chess bots and not real people? Well, there's a lot of volatility when you involve humans. In other words, if I play 1500s on chess.com, first of all, it would be hard for me to do that because the algorithm doesn't let me play lower rated players, but still, there's a lot of volatility. In other words, we're all human, we make mistakes. A 1500 could play like an 800 on any given day and make ridiculous blunders, or they could have the game of their life where they're getting better and they're playing like a 1800 or 1700, right? So in order to just have some continuity, I'm going to use chess.com bots and limit the volatility in their play, and but use 3 different chess bots to have 3 different styles. So I'm going to use Pierre, Antonio, and Wendy. I'm sure you guys are acquainted with them and probably get beat by them all the time, but I'm going to get some revenge for you guys. We're going to dive into this, and I'm going to show you the most important concept for 1,000 to 1,500 is not only do you have to see your opponent's threat, which is what mainly gets you to 1,000, but now we really have to see our opponent's threat and look for the best way to defending, which is usually a counterattack or a way that improves your pieces, or overall position, the overall activity of your position. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. And let's see how it goes. Okay, so we're going to play a challenge match with Pierre. I open up with e4 because I always open up with e4. And Pierre plays an exciting opening. Okay, I will just take it, I guess. So the King's Pawn opening, Duras Gambit, this is called. Don't really see this often at all, actually, but okay. If you don't really know an opening, like I don't really come across this opening, doesn't matter. You just play principal chess, play in the center. I take control of the center, push my pawn here, develop my pieces, and I don't try to play, I don't try to match my opponent's chaos with chaos, okay? I'm just developing my bishop, challenging this diagonal. If he takes, I would take with the queen and develop my queen. So all simple stuff so far. Okay, I could fianchetto or have a fianchetto type position and put my bishop here to knock the queen off. That is an idea, but it does weaken the light squares. I just want to be careful here. But I do want to develop my bishop, and I could come like this. So actually, this would be weakening. It might be tempting to do something like this to support this square, but you're weakening the light squares. Much better just to come here. If he ever kicks me out, my bishop can just come back here, and we have the same thing without weakening any of your squares. Okay, so I'm going to develop my bishop, and I may go queenside here. A lot of times when I'm pinned, I'll go queenside. I'll just abandon the pin. If he takes, I'll open up the G file, no problem, and just put my king on the other side. Okay, as we said, the aforementioned H6 move, chasing my bishop away. My bishop's going to come to G3, attack the queen. So I got everything I wanted without weakening anything. Okay, he moves away and attacks. So players that are pretty decent, they move away. They mix defense with attack. So he doesn't just move away to a passive square. He moves away attacking my pawn. Again, we can get to 1,500 by asking ourselves some basic, simple questions. What's my opponent's threat after every move? And what's the best way to handle it? See, 1,000 players don't really ask themselves, what's my opponent's threat? And they usually just don't see threats. But at the next level, players see the threats. They just don't defend it in the right way. So a lot of players might defend it like this. But again, that weakens squares, and then the pawn can open up this queen side. The rook gets active. Why don't we just castle, which is a developmental move, and it also at the same time simultaneously protects our king, activates our rooks, connects our rooks, and we're good to go. Okay, so from here, what to do here? I'm going to play king b1. Since my king wound up on an open diagonal, it's always good to play king b1 when you castle queenside. Okay, and here I'm just going to, let's see, develop my rook to the center. So now all my pieces are developed. He took here. This looks like it's this structure is a little weak, but it's fine. Okay, he takes a pawn here. Not sure how good that was. I have discoveries, possible discoveries, and I'm attacking this pawn. So I'm going to just come here, attack the queen, and attack the pawn. He blocks. That's a good move. I'm just going to interpose with this move. Okay. And now I have to see, and now I already have winning a pawn. So again, I have the bishop and knight, just winning a pawn and attacking the rook and weakening his king. All right, not so sure about that move. Let's see. He's coming here. I could just pin this knight. That would be good too, but I would be giving up this knight. So I don't really like that too much. I might want to anchor my knight here. That might be a good idea. Just want to make sure I don't miss anything. I can come here, takes, and then open up the rook. That's also a decent idea. So I might want to do something like that. In fact, I kind of smell blood in the water, so I'm just going to go ahead and I sense the weakness, so to speak, and I'm just going to go forward, start attacking. Okay, so he takes. I'm opening up his king now, and now I'm just going to slide my rook over here. And looks like he's in a bit of a situation. Okay, he's holding on. He's holding on so far. So what can I do here? I'll pin the knight, and now there's nothing protecting the bishop except for this pawn, but I can just take it because the knight's pinned and the bishop's pinned. So he can't take back with either piece, and now it looks like I'm going to win a piece. So how do I do it? Do I take first, and then he takes, and then I take, or do I just take this knight first? That is the question. Let's see. I guess I'll just take this first. And oh no, wait, he takes there. I think he had something. Maybe I should have took here first. I think I might have made a mistake there, but he didn't pick up on it. All right. Anyway, now I'm just up a knight, and I'm going to attack the rook. If he sees it and defends, he'll probably defend and attack. Okay, so he's 1500. He's going to defend and attack. But my point was, I can just come back to this square. So I just wanted to get to this square. This square was a pivot square to get to here, and it came with tempo because it attacked the rook. So I wasn't really trying to get his rook there. Okay, I'm just going to bring my king into the center, into the action. This is probably just going to blockade this pawn. That's my king's job in this game. And I'm just going to use my rooks to be activated. Okay, if your opponent's king goes to the last rank, or last file, whatever it is, in the end game, put your rook on the second to last rank or second to last file. That way he can never get back in the game. It's very, very important to have an active king in the end game. Okay, now I'm just going to throw in a check and lunge forward, and I probably have a mating net right here. I do have a mating net right here. It's just my opponent should have to block here. That's the only thing I can see doing. Okay, so he blocks. I attack. Let's see, this is being attacked. I can come here, 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 or here. Okay, how to go about this now? Now my opponent's being difficult. First, I will just defend the pawn. Okay, and now he's attacking my pawn over here, which I do not appreciate. Let's see, do I just give him this pawn? Let's see. If I defend it, it's too, you know what? So what's the most, again, okay. So a 1,000 rated player, right, or below 1,000, might just not see that. He's not asking himself, what's your opponent's threat? They have tunnel vision. They might not see the pawns attacked. Now, what's the difference between 1,000 to 1,500 is they see it, but they don't pick the right defensive move. They might just play like knight d2 here, defending the pawn, but your knight's on a good square. It's ready to jump into the action. This is a passive move. So what I see is I see a better option to defend. I realize my rook has the potential to defend this pawn, so I defend it while activating a piece. I'm activating my king and simultaneously defending, so that's a much better move. Okay, and now the rook is just doesn't know what to do here, And I could start going on journeys with my pieces here. Let's see. Maybe just bring my knight in here now. That's always a possibility. And I think that's what I'm going to do. It also shields my king from any future type of attacks. Okay, he's already going for a rook trade. This is not good for him. And I might just oblige. So let's see. Throwing a check. Throwing a check. His king is going to stay at the last rank. Again, his king's at the last rank, so I keep it there. I go to the second to stay in the second to last rank. I'm also simultaneously attacking pawns. Okay, I'm going to leave it temporarily, but I'm also threatening checkmate. So, okay, he comes back. And what to do here? So I can throw in a check. He comes here. He's pinning my knight again. Let's not be too tunnel visioned here. I could just get out of the pin like this and attack the pawn. If I do, and he trades knights with me and pushes, I go here, he pushes. All right, I'm in time to stop the pawn from queening, so I'm not concerned about that. And, okay, I can't take the pawn now because, so again, players under 1,000 will step into threats. Players over 1,000 probably will not step into threats, so taking this pawn would step into loss of material. Okay, so here what am I going to do? I have to move my knight first if I want to take this. Now my knight's in a good position, but I think I may just use my rook to take this pawn because I like everything where it is. So I'm just going to use my rook to take this pawn, and he should probably counterattack this pawn, but this is a lost position at this point. And now I can take this pawn with my king, and I'm good to go. And now this pawn's being attacked, and this is why chess is hard. Okay, so I'm just going to attack this pawn once again. And, yeah, that doesn't really do much. Now I could take, but he takes back with check and gets activity. So I'd much rather do this move, which not really forces a trade, but basically does, or else he's just going to lose a pawn. And now there's no more pawns. There's no more pieces for him. This is just super easy. If you're playing this game and you're even under 1,000, you can beat Magnus Carlsen. So if you get to positions like this, that's pretty good, right? So this is just a formality here. And I'll just finish the game off just to show my technique. Again, the king went to the last rank. I go to the second to last rank, second to last file, however you want to look at it. And I just bring my king in, and the game is over. So there you have it. All right, folks. Again, all basic stuff. So just pretty much asking yourself what's your opponent's threat after every move. That's pretty much how you get to 1,000, or one of the ways you get to 1,000. But after that, that's just not good enough to get past that. You have to ask yourself what's your opponent's threat, and then what's the most active way to defend it, which way defends it that improves your position, puts a piece in the center, or activates pieces and builds threats, and overall increases your overall position on the chessboard and your overall activity. All right, there you have it. Get out there, play some chess. See you later. Okay, so we have another game with the 1500. This one is Antonio, and Antonio is playing a much more orthodox opening here. And again, we have Bishop G4. Again, let's not be afraid of pinning the knight being pinned here. We just play Bishop E3. Antonio should not take on E3 because this actually opens up the F file for my rook and controls key squares in the center. Now, this you might think this is bad, this double pawn formation, but this it's connected to a larger pawn island, which makes it okay. The double pawns are only really bad if they're isolated. Okay, so now I can castle kingside and have an open file for my rook. That's one way to go. I could also go queenside here, but I'm just going to castle kingside. I'm not looking for the most brilliant moves. I'm just looking for practical moves here. Okay, what's my opponent's threat? He moved here and attacked my pawn, so I just got to defend it. How do we defend it again and improve our position? So, players, you could go knight d5. That's also an option, and attacks here. That's really good. I'm just going to play queen d2 here. Okay, my opponent plays rook d8. I don't really understand that move, other than the rook is opposite to my queen, and maybe he wants to open this up. Okay, a3, just in case the knight comes here. This is This is a common move here, a common idea. If the knight ever comes here, I can slide the bishop back, and my bishop doesn't get trapped, and I still have this nice bishop. King f8, forfeiting the right to castle. Don't really understand that move. And it's also putting his king opposite my rook. So already we might have some tactics here. Let's think. This is why tactics is very important. And tactics is something you have to work on yourself. At the 1500 level, your tactics should be pretty decent, but not great. Not really. I wouldn't say you have sharp tactics at this point. The sharper your tactics get, the easier you will go up the rating ladder. And we look at tactics by always looking at forcing moves. So first of all, I look at potential. My rook is opposite his king. That's an alarm bell that goes off. And my rook and bishop are both coordinated at this focal point in front of the king. So now I look at forcing moves. So bishop takes f7. Okay. If he doesn't want to just be down a pawn, he'll take my bishop. And now we have a discovery on his king via the rook. So we have check, double check with the knight and rook. When the king moves, I take the bishop and attack the queen. And what happened here is I won 2 pawns, and his king is even more open. So I like that. So that's what I'm going to go for. So now he probably should just, to minimize risk, take this knight first, but he doesn't. There's a double check, so he can't take the knight because he'll still be in check. And now I'm just going to take the bishop, attack the queen. I just won 2 pawns out of that simple combination. Okay, what's my opponent's threat? We always have to ask ourselves that after every move. He's attacking my knight. Do we defend it? Do we ignore it? In this position, and this again is what separates. So 1,000 rated players or below 1,000 rated players might not see that their knight's attacked. They might, have tunnel vision. They might see something else. They might be thinking what they're going to have for lunch. They might be thinking about the next episode of whatever they're watching on Netflix. But after that, we see our opponent's threat, and the player below 1,500, in between 1,000 and 1,500, sees the threat, but might not defend it in the right way, or might not sometimes develop a counterattack. Here, I could ignore this because I have a bigger threat. So I can come here. If he takes, I have checkmate. The queen would be losing this square, and I would have checkmate. So I don't have to defend it just yet. Still, I don't have to really, let's see, do I have to defend now? Now the king could come here. So if I checked him here, the knight shields the king from future checks, so it's not checkmate. So here it looks like I have to move my knight, or actually move my queen. So I'll just move my queen here, defending my knight. And my opponent moves his king. Okay. All right. So again, I'm not looking for the most brilliant moves here. I'm just looking for moves that increase my position, logical moves, just trying to beat my opponents with very straightforward chess. So I'm just doubling my rooks on open file. Very basic idea here. And he's attacking my knight, so I move it away. Okay, again, just putting his queen in a strange spot. I could just come up here and just start controlling more of the center. Okay, attacking my queen. Again, we have to see our opponent's threat and see what's the best way of handling it. Here I'm going to just move the queen out of the way and keep its activity. All right, now let's see. So since I'm up material, it might behoove me to start trading pieces, but I'm just going to bring my, oh wait a sec. Don't I have a fork here? So my opponent just gave up a fork, it looks like. So do I take and then just play this? I just don't see a way out of the fork. So I'm going to take first, because if I come here first, he comes here, attacks my rook. But I would still be good because I would take the queen with check. But I'm going to take this first. And now I'm going to fork the knight and queen. We always have to be careful of putting your pieces 2 squares away from each other when there's pawns in front of your pieces. Okay, so I won a piece now. And now I'm up a lot of material, and I really don't feel like I did anything spectacular this game. Okay, and okay. Again, we just want to trade pieces down. I would like to take this. He's going to throw an in-between move. My king's going to be exposed. So I'm actually going to take first. He's going to take with the queen. And then I'm going to take the knight. So now, not only do I win a pawn, but the king is open because this pawn's going to come out. And just little minor details like that go a long way. And again, there's so many ways you can probably win this game. But I think we just trade pieces here, and this is extremely easy, right? This is the easiest way to win this game. And since we're in the end game, we're going to activate our king because our king is very powerful in the end game, especially with just pawns on the board pretty much. The king becomes a powerhouse. And now I can just simply attack pieces, or pawns rather. I have this knight is bullying everybody, and there's really nothing black can do here. I'm just going to finish out the game here just to show you my technique. But obviously, you could probably see that this is a clear way to win. There's so many different ways to win this game. And my opponent is just holding on. For some reason, they don't resign. The chess bots don't resign. Chess.com has not put in an algorithm or programmed them to be gentlemen and resign in such situations. But, okay, let's play on. And I'm just going to take all his pawns. Maybe not all of them, but I'm going to take a substantial amount. Okay, I'm building a mating net now. Maybe I should have some mercy on my opponent. We have to be careful. Is this... Okay, this is not stalemate because he has this square. And now I think we have checkmate. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so what's the next spot we should go to? The next spot is Wendy. Okay, so Wendy is also a 1500, and this is the last spot, the last 1500 I will do for the sake of the lesson and to prove my point. Okay, she's playing a Caro-Kann. Okay, this is the main line to the Caro-Kann. They take, we take. Oops, if they take, we take. And usually knight f6 or bishop f5 is played. Sometimes this is played too, and we can set up a trap here. She probably won't go for it, but we'll see. And she should play this here and that here, and she has to play knight b6, only move. If she plays this, there would be a checkmate in a few moves. So she plays the right way. Okay, good. So she has a good opening repertoire, and that pawn is now undefended, and there's no problem. We'll just move the knight back, attack the queen. Okay. And here, looks like this is good. This is good. Looks like I already got myself into some trouble here. But I'm just going to develop my knight, let him take here. Okay. And now, I'm going to give up a piece? Wow. I went wrong here. Okay. So, all right. I'm going to show you what happens when you're down a piece and you're playing a 1500. So, again, I'm just going to use the same principles. And I'm going to try to outplay my opponent with basic chess being down a piece because I made a mistake. Okay, let's just, increase my king safety here. No need to panic or rush or do anything irrational. And I have an open G file, so I'm going to accentuate the power of my open G file by playing here at some point, but we have to watch out for our opponent's threats. My opponent wants to do something nasty like this. I do have protection on this at this point, but I'd rather not lose that, trade that bishop for knight. So I'm going to put more protection here, then come here, and I'm going to eventually try to reroute my bishop this way. Okay, I'm going to try to reroute my bishop this way and just blunt that bishop at the same time. This bishop goes here. My bishop's now on an open diagonal. My pieces are on, and he takes. I think that was a mistake here because I can take. And he has, now I get the rook. I get the rook. Not only do I get the rook, but I'm threatening some nasty stuff here. So he can't even take back. But he takes back, or she takes back, and that's checkmate. Okay, so there you have it. 3 different bots, 3 different styles. They're all 1500. As you can see, there's still a lot of improvement in 1500 chess. So the last bot, I was down a piece. I made a mistake in the opening, and I still managed to turn the game around a few moves later. So again, a lot of room for improvement. The main thing, the main takeaway, the main concept to get to 1500, if you're at 1000 or a little bit above 1000, 1200, 1300, whatever, is you always have to look out for your opponent's threats. But now at this point, you have to see the best, most active way of defending those threats. Sometimes it's a counterattack, so sometimes you basically ignore the threat, or you improve a piece while defending the threat and increase your activity. Anyway, that's it. Next video will be how to get to 1,800. And if you like this video, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. I'll see you guys later. Go play some chess.